Alrighty, hello YouTube. This is your boy Devi2100. This is take two technically. I just realized I didn't have the microphone on at all while I was recording the first part of this video. Uh, so what I wanted to do today was talk about whether or not, in my opinion, is Cyberpunk 2077 worth it now? After all the updates, after all the time, after the failed launch that they had, is the game worth it? Even if you're going to pay $60 for it, if you're paying like a digital copy, I do believe all hard copies of them are going to be less than $60. I'm pretty sure, especially if you find like a Best Buy discount bin $5. There you go, good deal right there. Hands down, $5 will be more than worth the game play you're gonna be able to get out of the game. Do I think that the game is worth the $60 price tag though? Now, yes. I think that now that the game has had enough time with the updates, a lot of the progression that the company is trying to make towards, I think that this is in a good place, and I think honestly the game will continue to get better as it goes along. At this point, it's now getting to the point where they're doing a little secret. I feel like kind of like updates. You see a lot of YouTubers be like, oh, Cyberpunk's a new secret update, and it's not like a big update, but there are always these little minor ones they're throwing in here and here. Some of them are really helpful for the modders, and some of them have just been like, okay, hey, we fixed this thing right here, but somehow this got fucked up. We'll fix that now. So that's been a big thing right there. I'm very happy to see that with CDPR still wanting to fix a lot of the bugs and issues in the game, and still wanting to make this a viable product, much like Witcher 3 was. A lot of people I think forget that when The Witcher 3 first released, it had a lot of bugs and issues. I mean, I don't think anybody could forget that Geralt couldn't jump more than 3 feet down a rock, or he would just die. Legitimately, a dude who hunts the biggest fucking ogres in all the land, dragons of all sizes, and this guy will be taken down by a 3 foot rock? You fucking kidding me? So, I think when people looked at how everything performed with Cyberpunk when it first released, I think that it was still a little bit. I feel like kind of a bit of like an overly done mess. Like everybody kind of beat the horse a little bit too much on this one, and I honestly feel like the game was not nearly as in a disrepair state as something that like Bethesda would have released. Yes, it did not perform well on last gen consoles. I don't even think that the game should have been made. Even though it was originally marketed for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, enough time had passed that I think that the company should have realized that and just been like, hey guys, sorry, we're not going to actually do this for the PS4 and the Xbox One. We're just going to do it for PC and next gen consoles because honestly, that technology and that powerhouse can actually actually the power under the hood can actually handle the powerhouse that is Cyberpunk and requires the demand for the graphics and all the other stuff, especially with all the motion capture that is in there. And it also kind of shows a little bit as well of care on their side to be like, hey guys, we're still working on this. They didn't stop. They just stopped telling everybody how much and what they were going to do at each time and interval because they figured, hey, fuck, if we can't make it to that interval, we're just going to be making more false promises. Just let people know we're still working on it, but don't tell them when. I wasn't exactly happy with that approach, but at the same time, it made me very much aware that they were like, "Hey guys, we really don't want to keep giving you guys dates just for that to keep blowing up in our face." So you know what? Which originally, mind you, this was originally the thing for the game itself. It'll be ready when it's ready. That was their slogan. That was their tagline for Cyberpunk. It'll be ready when it's ready. It wasn't ready, and it should have baked in the oven for about another but another year, and then it would have been ready. It would have been ready. You know, it's one of those things where I think the company itself did see dollar signs and dollar signs and dollar signs up in the higher executive offices, and everybody down below them was like, "Guys, we have no idea what the hell this game is doing right now. Like, it's not working. It's not doing this. We have issues here. We have issues here. It's not working on last gen consoles. You're promising too much shit right now. Stop it." And that's ultimately what ended up happening. Now, with all that being said, now, again, I just kind of wanted to give a little like gloss over because there's much more controversy that CDPR got themselves into, along with a lawsuit with their own shareholders and investors. That was great. They settled out of court for that one, and that's another thing too. Is like there's a lot of stuff that needs to be looked at and kind of just also to be acknowledged about the fact that while this had all been happening, this company is still trying their damnedest to keep trying to make and fix things in the game that they feel, honestly, were the things that were the worst, worst bugs and issues. Granted, there's a lot of stuff that they promised us that we're still not, introduced in the game, like tram systems, a few other things like that. modders have been taking care of that, and to see that CDPR is actually like, hey, actually, you know what? We're gonna be totally chill with modders. We really want this to actually continue the longevity of this game. Look at Left 4 Dead 2. Look how long that game's longevity is. Now, again, that is an exception to the rule. Not every game is just automatically that gets workshop support or modder support. It's just going to blow up and continuously still be great 15 years down the road. It just isn't always going to be the case. Now, I do feel that CDPR is going in the right direction with what they're doing, and I actually wanted to show you guys a little bit of gameplay here on the Xbox Series X, which I do want to give you guys also another video later on down the road, maybe this week or so, about whether or not do I think the Xbox Series X or even a new gen console is even worth picking up right now at this day and age, right? Because most people are like, oh, I can just go build a PC or I can do that. Not for the same price tag. I'm just gonna say that right now. There's no way you're gonna do that price tag for that build anymore. Back in the day on a 1060 build, sure as shit you could do that. But if you want something that's going to have a 2060 in it or a 3060, you are already going to be spending damn near half or if not three quarters of what you think is going to be your budget for a $500 build for that. Most of it is going to be your graphics card right there alone. Not to mention, you need to have the damn good RAM, also the CPU, and let's not mention the fact that that motherboard needs to be compatible with everything. I can't tell you how many times somebody has been so excited about a build, they get that build in, and then they realize that they accidentally didn't get the right motherboard. That shit happens all too often. Double check yourself. PC Checker is a good way to go on that one. But without further ado, let me go ahead and switch this over to our live screen that we normally do for Twitch. So this is usually the setup we have for Twitch, everybody. I just wanted to kind of show you guys as I was driving around here. I was just looking around the city, and I was like, there's just something to be said, as I crash into the walls here, there's something to be said about the way that these guys have designed the city, the way it feels, the way it looks, and especially at nighttime, I feel like the city really comes to life and pops out more. And I gotta say, the handling for the car, especially something like this, the Caliber and Rayfield is just horrible for handling when it came to the PC. I actually feel like I can handle this car hell of a lot better on the Xbox Series X using a controller. And as you can see too, like legitimately the reflections, the way that everything just is coming together in the game as well. It just looks good. It feels good too. Honestly, the quests and the missions and everything like that in the game have just been honestly all that much better. Actually feeling when playing the game now with all the updates and all the fixes that have been made to this. I mean, when you're driving around, you're looking at the city like this. This just looks phenomenal. Honestly, unless I just wreck into cars over here. But it's something that, in my opinion, I think has to be said is that these guys are still working on something to make this feel this good. And legitimately, when you're driving around the city and stuff like that, I don't know. For me, this is one of the biggest things I love doing. It's just cruising around, looking at this beautiful city architecture and all this stuff that these guys all put together. All the men and women at CDPR that work their asses off to design such an amazing looking game like this. Like this makes me feel like the city is alive right here. When you look at that and you see this gives you that perception that the city is alive, that there is life going on in this city. Now, again, granted, not all that stuff has been worked out. So, like the pathings of AI, stuff like that. You have obviously one of the biggest other issues is if you go walk around, follow a character, you're not going to see them do everything day to day life like they promised. I do think that maybe something like that could be worked into the future. I think that at this point, it might be just something we should just give up wanting in the game and just accept it for what we have. I know some people are probably gonna be like, "Oh, dude, you shouldn't just give up on it." It's like after a certain point, I'm gonna be demanding something from a company that just feels kind of bad to just constantly be like, "You guys aren't living up to this. You're not doing this. You're not doing enough of this." And to know that these guys are doing as much as they can with the resources now, especially being spread out as much as they are right now with the Witcher 4 project and everything else they are working on, it's really just, in my opinion, unreasonably constantly keep asking these guys, "Where's my tram system? Why can't I follow this character and just walk around and follow them from their day-to-day life like I can in GTA or Watch Dogs?" These were games that were legitimately made and based off of already open world concepts. These were companies that were already really good at doing these games. What what I want to I feel like that CDPR gets so much flack for, and they actually really shouldn't, was that they were trying to take a fucking chance. They took a chance and took the biggest leap that they could because they really felt that they could do it. And I don't know, maybe it's just a sense of like, having that confidence and feeling that you were, comfortable with doing something because you were like, no, you know what, we got this, guys. We got this great talent. We got this awesome engine. We built this engine ourselves. We know all this technology and all this stuff. We know this game really good. We're gonna do the best thing that we can do with it. And then as you kept going and you kept wanting to add more and more and more and more from all these other things, and then you realized, ah, shit, we didn't really have a good like lead, project lead on this idea of where we were going to go with all this, and what was going to just need to be cut the fuck out. And unfortunately, a lot of the stuff that I think everybody had their biggest heart set on were the things that inevitably all got cut out. And that is the shittiest thing at the end of the day, is that so much did inevitably get cut out, all because of the fact they had to make room for all the other stuff. At the end of the day, again, I do think this is so much fun to play and just enjoy. I keep playing this constantly. I've been going through it again. This is my like latest Street Kid path, and legitimately to know that like I'm only about 30% into this game, and I've had more fun playing this on the Xbox Series X than I did on my PC. It just blows my mind. So, again, chat, if you're looking to see if it's worth it or not, at the end of the day, I 100% think it is. I think that anybody here that's checking out this video right now, if you have any concerns about the game, I would highly look up to see if any of those things have been already resolved, because I guarantee you almost I'd say like three-quarters of most people's complaints about the game have been completely resolved. The biggest quarter of it is just the content that was cut out of the game before it was released. And to me, a lot of that again could have just been fine. Just go ahead, cut it out. At this point, I'm not even worried about it. Yeah, I still wish I could get a tram system. I wish there was other taxi companies, things like that. However, those could also still be things that we could see introduced into DLCs as being little side features that like, okay, hey, here's the main, course of the DLC, but guess what we did extra on this DLC patch? We threw in tram systems, we threw in taxis. They could easily do something like that, and you could just constantly have this hope, and that's all I can have. But at the end of the day, that's just my opinion, and I want to know what you guys think about it. Let me know in the comments below. And if you like the video, definitely drop a like and subscribe on the channel. And again, if you guys want to follow me over on Twitch, I'll have the link for the description down below. And actually, right after this video gets uploaded, we are going to be doing a stream onto Twitch. And actually, I'm going to be playing some Phantasy Star Online 2, and I'll do a video about that and whether or not was it a regret getting back into this MMO or not? Being as the fact that one of the biggest reasons that deterred me from playing PSO2 New Genesis the last time was after putting so many hours over there, like pretty much closer to 100 something hours into the game, the grind never felt fun. It just felt way too grindy. And after that point, you're past 100 hours. You know what? How most people say, well, after 100 hours, the game gets good. It did not get good. It just got worse, actually. Those 100 hours were the best part of it. And after you got to that 100 hours, it was like, well, shit, I did everything. Fuck. What do I do now? So that's kind of how I feel. So we'll see if I still feel that way or not. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys. And again, if you want to catch me over on Twitch, the link will be in the description below.